I'm sorry about my note cards today. I'm going to start off by telling you a little story on how we got here. So I got here from Seymour, Indiana, did 6 years in the Navy, real fast, real furious, still real fast, real furious. I had a little incident in 2005 that brought me to the special place we're at today. And here we go, we can see what's going on. So in 2005, as you can see the carnage and maiming that was done to the vehicle, I was using my phone while I was driving. I went through an intersection, was not paying attention, T-boned by a semi. The little formatting issues here. The distracted driving statistics. Okay, April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. The Florida Highway Safety Department is advocating for more distracted driving awareness on these issues. So there's 52,000 distracted driving accidents in Florida. 30% of distracted driving fatalities are people under 30 years old. Yeah, so this is actually a quote from one of the president of the Sheriff Association, and it's distracted driving is harming families here in Florida themselves. So our team, myself, I'm a Management Information Systems major, a junior at UWF. Miss Morgan Peppers, she's an MBA student at UWF. We also have some more team members. Christian Kamen, he's built our prototype for us. He's our computer science gentleman. He's our UI expert. Ray Saeed is our domain expert, and he's going to be building our website out for us. And we also have a couple other members that are not able to be on the screen today. So the world before me and the world after me. It's a phony world. We have a cartoon character that we're going to use to promote the application that we're going to show. His mission is to educate the public on the distractions and consequences of irresponsible cell phone use. It's not just distracted driving, because distracted driving is a lot of things. It's overall awareness around irresponsible cell phone use. Okay, here's our initial unveiling of our prototype. So we're gonna make it easy. We're gonna make it easy for you to manage your child's mobile device. And how do we do that? We want you to get where you're going in 5 clicks or less, and be able to control easily the functionality on your child's device, whether it's driving, whether it's controlling applications, and making sure that your child has the availability to focus on the life and tasks ahead of them. This simple app controls, you'll be able to select what you're going to do. The sit rep function is my favorite. You can pick your child, and what we're going to do is you're going to have the ability to just hit sit rep, get a quick activity level of what's going on with them, and it's going to show your speed activity, accident activity, phone usage during driving, hard braking, fast rapid acceleration. You're going to be able to see what they're doing inside their vehicle and be able to control that instantaneously by using the set rules function. The set rules function is an easy way to manage your child's phone just by a touch of a few buttons. So our first concepts are either your child's free, they're grounded, they're suspended, or they're expelled. And so all those are really easy functions. So if they're free, they have free functionality of their phone. If they're grounded, if they're not doing well, you can see their driving activity, then you can limit their phone activity to certain functions while they're driving, while they're at school. You can set timers on the apps. If they're suspended, then they don't have a lot of functionality. And if they're grounded or if they're expelled, the only thing they're going to be able to do is call mom and dad and 911. Alrighty. Oh, excuse me here. So what I need a CPA. I go to school full time. I just actually resigned from my job, so I have a little bit more time. I focus on this full time, and it takes a lot of my time to do everything. And an accountant, I'm not very good at accountants. So I've had to take a couple class here, my managerial accounting class a couple times. So I definitely need an accountant. I need an investor who wants to participate in the company. I'm not looking to go raise millions and millions of dollars to build this thing out. I want an investor who's invested in me, invested in the company, and who wants to make people's lives better. And I have a $10,000 silent investment currently. I need another $10,000 matching investment to build our prototype out to an alpha phase. I'd like to thank you very much for allowing me to present to you, and I'll take questions now.
So, Cody, you're going to have a set structure indicating whether or not they're expelled or suspended, and
Well, the child is actually not even going to be able to see the application on their phone. It's going to be an invisible app. So they're going to have the ability to do whatever you tell them that they can do on their phone without changing any kind of functionality on the phone.
So there's going to be a list of things that
Right.
say, my kid can do this, but they can't do that.
Correct.
They can't do that.
Correct. So like each feature is going to have opt-in or opt-out. So the opt-in feature is for free. You know, everything's going to be selected. You can manage apps, or you can limit app time. You can set timers on it. And the same thing for going down the more strict roles. Grounded, it'll pop up with the things that you can't do instead of can do. And then you can limit those things even deeper functionality if you would like to. Patrick?
So these features and functionalities, they're all triggered by motion of the phone in a vehicle, or are they just ubiquitous across any use case scenario?
Well, so default, they're going to start out at free. The child's going to have the availability to do whatever they want. And then during your activity level, you're going to see notifications if that child is, if notifications are triggered due to the activity level of the vehicle. And right now, we're focused on the accelerometer inside the phone. Yes, sir?
Are you using like the thing that plugs into the OBD port at all?
Right. So we do have that sensor, and that's further development is going to be needed for that. We just have to develop the firmware on that, and to scale the firmware design is pretty extensive on that one. So waiting on that one. Yes, sir?
Have you met Megan Coberly, bookkeeper and accountant?
I have not. Hello, Megan. Okay. Any further questions? We can keep going. Yes, sir.
Are you able to tell what, like if the person is a passenger of a car or if they're driving the car?
There's technologies out there to tell that. The current applications can't tell that, so we've had that discussion. So if the child has the app on their phone, it's an invisible app, it would definitely tell if the car was moving, but it would not be able to determine if the child was driving the vehicle that their parents told them they can drive, or their friend was driving that vehicle.
It would just be in the car itself. Like it can only tell within the car that it's assigned to, I guess.
Well, you can set geo functionality for specific vehicles, and then the OBD2 sensor is part of relieving those pains on that as well. Yes, sir.
So based upon the activity of the vehicle, there's an immediate change in what the functionality of the phone is.
If you set that up, if the phone, so in the application, if you set the child's phone up to be free, then the application is automatically going to report whatever activity is inside, whatever's going on with that vehicle, correct?
The immediate response of a parent knowing good and well that you just hard brake 5 times in a row, it doesn't even matter whether or not you're driving or not. At no time does it matter to me, because if you're sitting in the vehicle and you're hard braking all that time, and then you get this notification that says, oh, you can't text anymore, then you're going to look at your friend and say, oh, well, you have to start driving a little bit better.
Right, and that was one of the key features when we were designing the UI portion of it, was we wanted to send parents a notification as soon as one of those events occurred. They'll pop up, there'll be like tiny notifications to let you know whatever is going on inside the vehicle.
Right now, like Allstate, the thing is plugged in.
Right.
I have to log into my Allstate app. My Allstate app tells me how I'm driving and then gives me a discount on that.
Right.
And so the idea is that if you have this and you set this up and it's functional, have you talked to any insurance agents or any insurance whatsoever about discounts based upon driving records?
Right.
and that sort of thing?
So I have pitched this quite a few times, and one of the issues that I've faced talking to people is everybody wants a prototype and they want to see something, and so that's what we have. We just finished this prototype Monday night, so I'm more advantageous to talk to more people out in the community who are ready to partner, because you can't partner with someone if they don't have a product. So, yes, ma'am.
How easy is it going to be for a child to get around it?
Well, the whole,
Lock,
correct.
there's one.
Correct. So we're designing this thing so that the child can't even function with the application on inside their phone. So it'll be extensive back doors that they would have to know how to do. And it would take a little bit of extensive programming, but I'm sure just like everybody else that you can dig on the internet and try to find things. Our main mission is to make sure that if those things are happening, the parents are going to be notified as soon as it happens. and then maybe the parent can correct the behavior rather than me correct the behavior.
Now, there's competitors out there that have seen the presentation before. The competitors, at some point, could actually purchase your license for this, right?
Correct.
And so, I mean, they're much bigger than you are. So,
Right, correct. So vice versa too. One of the complexities that I find with mobile device management systems is they're very complex, and they have the ability to just overwhelm the user. And what I'm trying to do is make complexity simple. And our whole goal is just to make sure the parent has what they want in 5 clicks or less and can be notified of all the same things that a big MDM will notify you of, just a lot quicker, faster, simpler. Yes, sir.
So I have kind of a different area to focus on. What about data? What are you doing? Are you storing the data? How are you doing that? Because when you talk to an insurance company, that's what they really want. They don't
Right.
That's why they're going to give you a discount, because
Right.
they want that data. They want to know we're in a data-driven world. This is
Yeah.
where everything's going anymore.
Right. So the data is currency. To build the application further out, I'm currently focused on AWS and building and plugging into their platforms. The IoT core specifically will integrate with the sensor, and then we're going to harvest and build all that data with the servers already built in and all the analytics built in.
AWS is a great system.
Any further questions? Yes, ma'am.
What are you looking for in terms of an investor? You said you want to have an active investor. What skill set should that investor have that would be beneficial given the skill sets you have?
Right.
And Morgan has.
Right.
And your other,
Teammates. We need someone who understands high technology companies and potentially high profit generating revenue companies have to have a forward-facing person who can take the team skill sets, the novelty of the team skill sets, and transform those and transform us into an understanding of what higher profit means and what that needs, and bigger money and what those mean. Meaning, I need someone to interact with money better than I can, because I cannot articulate what high-level investors and high-level participants need to hear, and it's a setback for the company. Yes, sir.
How are you going to monetize it?
So monetization is, we're going to go lower and thinner. So goal is to undercut the competitor's price. And
$9.99 a month?
they're using $9.99 a month with GPS. So the goal is to get the OBD2 sensor incorporated into the vehicle so that we can reduce the amount of API maintenance fees as far as what our competitor is doing, because they're heavy reliance on the GPS features. But there's also a couple little tricks I learned from the last pitch I did that we don't have to rely on the GPS functionality so much. So, yes, ma'am.
Instead of going in as the low cost, or because you're new, you can't be a loss leader.
Right.
You don't have any other products to support yourself with. Have you thought of maybe adding a service that the other guys don't have, and so you don't have to be the lowest price competitor? Because all of a sudden, you start doing your pricing structure, and, wow, I'm doing, 4 times my cost, but then you're like, well, wait a second, we're the low-cost leader, we're going to be doing promotions in addition to that, we're going to be doing da-da-da, and all of a sudden, your margins are going to shrink
Yeah.
so much, it's going to take away from your sales and marketing efforts. And because you've got a variety of stakeholders with this,
Right.
you've got, your customers who are going to be consumers who are going to be using this, but then you may also have, and you want to go after, as you mentioned, corporate folks. You're going to need, consumers super duper expensive to go after.
Correct. Right. So I was a former NATOPS instructor for the Navy. Just a handful of us in the entire United States. So what I've identified is the FARS data.
What is NATOPS?
NATOPS is Naval Air Training and Operating Procedure Standardization Instructor. It means I was a subject matter expert for a P3, and then I was the only one of the only ones in the.
We're not all
Yes, ma'am.
veterans, so you have to learn how to communicate so that we all understand
Right.
what you're saying.
I was an instructor. I taught on an aviation platform, and I was one of only a handful of instructors who could qualify anybody in the Navy to do something.
So you can efficiently disseminate information.
Correct. Over an entire industry and be that subject matter expert. So what I've identified is during a fatal accident, police have to collect specific data and report that specific data to the government. And one of the things that we're going to do with this project is engineer that data into the application. And so what we're going to try to do is increase the reporting standards for FARs and then take that and license that to the other competitors that are currently doing that.
Can I just add to what you said?
Yes, sir.
That your channel strategy is important when B2C model, right, business to consumer, does require a very large investment in time frame in order to build brand awareness and nurture adoption of the product. And you're in a classic conundrum here of, gee, Mr. Insurance Company, a guy or gal, we'd like to sell you this data, but, well, we don't have any yet. And then,
Right.
So you
Yes.
know, your natural approach to getting a prototype, to engaging with the larger channel targets, with the payers, I think that's very important for you to consider. And then, you know, the Google model I go back to, when they were just nobody and no brand awareness yet, they just ate through gajillions of dollars, right? Basically, use this please so we can get data and to grow. So there's that model of raising millions to fund user adoption, if
Right.
you will, in order to make it valuable to your corporate customers who are going to pay for ad revenue, right?
Right.
Well,
So those are the kind of two, you stick it in an egg. I need users
Yeah.
to get data to sell the insurance agents, industry.
Bring up, you make a really great point. What if you were to do, no, Patrick, I'm asking you, what if you were to do a pilot program with one of the insurers to sure a heck of a lot easier to try to sell one of 20 insurance companies and 5 million people out there. So try to do a pilot program with specific metrics and what will go and what is no-go. Do you think so?
Oh, absolutely. I think he's got that. At least I inferred, right, from what you were saying, that's where you were going.
Right.
Is to get that prototype. And I think in conjunction
A
with.
pilot program with an insurer, and so you kind of create, I mean, it's a classic entrepreneurial learning initiative move, is where you create the product with your client, and the client therefore buys it because you've customized it for them.
Correct.
So you do a pilot program.
Yeah, and the insurance company already has hundreds of thousands of clients.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, the advertising, you get hundreds of thousands of clients with the number.
I've done this deals with big pharma companies before, where the answer could be that they write a big check and deliver the app as a part of their bundled service offerings. Okay, so I mean, you can go, it might go either way, you just don't know how.
Yes, sir.
Two-part. You thought about like approaching Coca-Cola or trucking companies who have a bunch of people on the road, and then you said something along the lines of like the more data they need. What if this thing was some sort of like a black box for a car? Hey, in the last 5 minutes they braked 5 times, or
Yeah. Right. So you're getting into like my technical weeds, but yes, that's exactly what we deemed it as. We want that OBD2 reader to be the black box for the car. And same thing with this is we want to engineer the data to where it's transferable to any state agency or federal agency, and it's verified, and that they can use that for the reporting standards. And that's kind of what we do. I go through all the reports. Yes, Mr. Muswhite.
Do you have any, like, barriers to entry to keep the insurance company, like keep the other players? Because what you're talking about is relatively straightforward, you know?
Right.
So how do you intend to kind of protect your market from predators?
That's a good question, and I need help. I don't have all the answers to that, and I need help identifying those differentiators. And one of the differentiators I currently hypothesize is going to be correct is that the OBD2 reader that we're currently looking to acquire has onboard processing capabilities to where we can prepackage a lot of the data and send it over in certain packet segments. And then the OBD2 readers right now, they don't have that. It's just a reader sending, a couple lines of code from the computer off the car to the phone and then transmitting it that way. Our reader can process lots of data and package it certain ways. Yes, sir.
Just speaking from a parent's point of view, cell phones aren't the only electronics that might get hacked. right? I mean, at any point, he can just change his screen to a different device and not even think about it, right? And so, I mean, he literally just transfers information from one to another, and it's fun for him, right? And so the idea is that if he's in a vehicle, right, and he has his cell phone sitting there, and he's sitting there texting, and his cell phone, I'm like, turn that bad boy off, 5-part brakes, and he picks up his tablet, right, and then he's sitting there on his tablet doing exactly the same thing, right? It gets annoying after a while, but have you really considered looking at not the cell phone?
Yes, there's other ways to target devices. Yeah, there's other ways to target devices. I need to focus currently on my niche market and try to get something developed, and then we can expand to other devices. But currently, we just want to focus on iOS and Android, and then if the demand needs so, we'll switch to those other devices as well.
Are there any more questions? All right, Cody, what do you need from your community here in this room or beyond?
Yes. So I just want to be real candid about my company and how much I've put into this. Being a CEO and being a founder is very hard, and going to school full time is very hard, and having another job besides this is very hard. So I'm asking for help. I need someone to take care of my books, and I need help learning how to do those things. I need a professional, outward-facing person to be able to translate what I'm saying and understand my capabilities and translate that to a corporate world. And I need that initial funding to get my marketing campaign on par with what it needs to be to even acquire that initial alpha phase. And I would just like help to relieve the stressors in my life, because I would like to focus on school just as much as I focus on my company, and still be able to apply myself in other areas of my lifestyle and not suffer so much. So.
And you need an investor.
Yes, sir.
And a CPA.
And CPA.
I know one, or at least I know one now.
In fact, Megan presented at 1 million, so
Cool.
nice job.
Thank you.